Good evening to all and welcome to the session 200 Grammar Rules. How many rules have you learned so far? You have learned 153 rules. Today you're going to learn 154. We'll continue from there. What is rule number? All these rules go with active voice and passive voice. Rule number 154, passive voice, two objects. In a sentence, usually, what is a basic pattern when it comes to English language sentence patterns? Subject plus verb plus object. But sometimes in a sentence you may have two objects. Then you will get the doubt how to change from active voice to passive voice. This rule talks about that. Rule number 154, if there are two objects, you can change with one of the two. That is your choice based on the emphasis, either direct object or indirect object. When you see the example, you understand. She gave me the book. Here, she subject, gave verb, gave whom, me. That is object number one. Gave what? The book, object number two. How many objects do we have here? Two objects. Person, we call it indirect object. A thing, we call it direct object. You can change a sentence from active voice to passive voice either with the indirect object or with the direct object based on what you want to emphasize. I was given a book by her. Here I have taken the indirect object and have changed. She gave me the book. I was given a book by her. The next one, I have taken the direct object, the book. It should have been, she gave me a book. A book was given to me by her. I was given, indirect object is the subject. A book was given to me, direct object is the subject. You can use either the indirect object or the direct object, that is your choice. Rule number 155. Questions, very important from the exam point of view. We should use interrogative form in passive voice, and a lot of students think when it comes to speech, another important topic, we use the interrogative form changes to affirmative form. Based on they get confused, and that has resulted in common errors. They tend to change the question while changing from active voice to passive voice, from interrogative to affirmative. That is not correct. We should use interrogative form, same interrogative form in passive voice. For example, who broke the cup? This is active voice past tense. By whom was the cup broken? Common error, a lot of people tend to say, by whom the cup was broken. That is not correct. You cannot change it to affirmative form. That rule goes with direct and indirect speech. Here, by whom was the cup broken? Was the cup broken? Interrogative. We have to keep it in interrogative form. Who taught you English? By whom you were taught English? Not correct. By whom were you taught English? Correct. It should be in interrogative form. Rule number 156. Infinitives. What is an infinitive? The basic form and the basic form with to. Here we are talking about without to it is bare infinitive. With to it is called present infinitive, but remember as infinitive. We should use, how do you change a sentence with an infinitive to passive voice? We should use to be plus verb past participle form to change active voice to passive voice. She is to write a letter. First, you have to know in this sentence what is the infinitive. To write. Then, how do you change it to passive voice? A letter is to be. Here, to be plus verb, past participle form. A letter is to be written, write, wrote, written by her. This is a pattern. Many students don't know this pattern. They were to do the work. The work was. If the verb is in past, you have to use past. The work was, here plural were, here singular was. The work was to be done, to be plus verb past participle form. Do, did, done. The work was to be done by them. An important pattern. Rule number 157. Participles. What is a participle? Present participle. Verb plus ing. We should use being plus verb past participle form to change active voice to passive voice. I remember my mother taking me to doctor. Here, what is the present participle? Taking. How do you change it to passive voice? You have to use the word being that expresses the continuity aspect. And any sentence in passive voice, you have to use the verb in past participle form. I remember being taken to a doctor, being taken to a doctor by my mother. I remember what? Being taken to a doctor. That is passive voice. Look at the second example. I saw his friends laughing at him. Laughing is a present participle. I saw him, not his. I saw him being laughed at. Laugh takes the preposition at. I saw him being laughed at by his friends. Being, laughed, laughed, laughed. It's a regular verb. I remember being taken. I saw him being laughed. Same pattern. Now, a few practice questions based on these rules. He assigned the work to employees. First, you have to know which tense this is. Assume time aspect, let's say yesterday, but that is not important over here. He assigned the work to employees. Still, I would like to add. Which tense is this? Past tense. How can you change it to passive voice? Here, he assigned what? The work. He assigned to whom? To employees. How many objects do we have? Direct object, persons, indirect object. You can use either the direct object or the indirect object. That is your choice. The work was assigned to employees by him. The work was assigned. He assigned, was assigned. The work was assigned to employees by him. You can also say the employees were assigned work. The employees were assigned work by him. The employees were assigned work. Here, the employees, direct object is work, indirect object is employees. Either way, you can change. That is your choice. Who drove the new car? This is an important one. Again, which tense is this? Past tense. Assume the time. By whom was the car? Was a new car driven? By whom was the new car driven? What is a common error? By whom the new car was driven? That is not correct. It should be in interrogative form. By whom was the new car driven? This is over, this is over. They are to declare the date. Here you have infinitive. What is it? To declare. How do you change it? The date, singular, is, we have to use to be plus verb in the past participle form. It is a regular verb. The date is to be declared by them. They are to declare the date. The date is to be declared by them. I remember doing that work. I remember that work being done by me, understood. I remember that work being done. I remember doing that work. I remember what? That work being done. Here, by me, understood. I remember that work being done. By whom was the letter posted? First, you have to know whether it is which tense it is, past tense, whether it is active voice or passive voice. Passive voice. By whom was the letter posted? How do you change it to active voice? Who posted the letter? Who posted the letter? By whom was the letter posted? A tree was to be cut by the workers. To be cut, then you have to tell yourself the pattern goes with infinitive. And here it is past was. A tree was to be cut by the workers. The workers were to cut a tree. These are not easy under pressure. The workers were to cut a tree. A tree was to be cut by the workers. Correct. I saw her being teased by her brother. Being, that means what? Present participle. Is it active voice or passive voice? I saw her being teased by her brother. Passive voice. I saw her brother teasing her. I saw her, I saw her I saw her brother teasing her. How does it change? I saw her being teased by her brother. I saw her being teased by her brother. I saw her brother teasing her. Present participle. She gave the kids chocolates. Here we have two objects. The kids indirect object, chocolates direct object. You can change either taking the indirect object as a subject or the direct object as a subject. That is your choice. The kids were given chocolates by her. The kids were given chocolates by her. You can also say chocolates were given to the kids by her. Both mean the same. But you have to decide what is the focus. Is it the direct indirect object or the direct object? Accordingly, you have to change to passive voice. That's all for today. Thank you very much.